Fire in the hole. What's up, YouTubians? Gary, VW Jawbreaker. Welcome back to another day and another video where you see the sun right there and me squinting. This is why I hate shooting in the late afternoon and evenings, because, well, the sun just gets blasted into my garage and it's hot and miserable and it makes shooting a pain. But we're going to try to muster through this because Aaron came over last night and we went ahead and got all the tins finally set up on a 1776 build. So yeah, same tins from the last engine, but then again, they're same internal parts as the last engine, just 1776 now. So we don't really need to worry about a cam break-in because, again, same cam and lifters, match spots, anyway. But we need to go ahead and fire it up before it goes in the car, make sure everything's in tip-top shape, make sure everything's good, try to go ahead and get the carbs as adjusted as possible. We're gonna have to reset everything once we put the engine in, of course, because you gotta pull those dual carbs off in order to put it in the car. So first order of business, we need to put the exhaust on, then we'll go ahead and hook up the run stand and the gas tank. Got the battery out of Jawbreaker, and she'll be about ready to go ahead and fire up. We've got oil, we static timed it, so we should be about ready to go ahead and see if this thing will light off. Let's get crack-a-lacking and get to work. Pretty straightforward. So we got the exhaust on, we've got the alternator hooked up, got our wiring hooked up. So basically I just run a hot over to the coil. I have a tack wire, I have a wire for the alternator, exciting wire, and then this one normally comes down to your oil pressure switch, but I'm running a gauge. But that just comes around in one little loom to right here. Alternator hot post comes over, that's your positive down to your battery like normal. And this just hooks up to give me power to my little start box, which there's a video on that. I'll link it down below. So looks like we're about ready for some gasoline. This has got a manual pump on it, so which is good. We'll be able to crank it up and verify. We get oil pressure first before we go any further. And then once we get oil pressure and we verify we got some fuel to the carbs, we'll be able to fire off. So let's start building some pressure. All right, we got our timing light out, all that's set. Now when I flip master on, we're not gonna get our oil pressure light because it's not hooked up. We're actually watching the gauge. So we'll just go ahead and start cranking. Building pressure. Not sure if we have any fuel yet down in there, but ooh, sounds like we might on one side. Yeah, we got fuel on one side, and crank and prime a little more. That's quite nice. Goes down, and there we go. Holds it pretty good. All right, well, we got fuel. I think now it's about time to go ahead and see if she'll light off. We gotta switch cameras for that. All right, contact. It's way off. figures, try to squeeze this in on an evening time, and starts to run, and then the distributor took a crap. We swapped out coil, verified power to the coil, swapped out coil, still no spark. I tried different spark testers. Yes, I know I had number 4 disconnected, and I did it again, still no spark. That one's actually a really cool, let's see if I can find it again here. It's actually really cool. You can actually adjust your distance. It'll actually jump, and I tried adjusting it in, out, 0. I had it good ground, so I have a spare 009 distributor. Probably go ahead and just bring it up to top dead center, jam that in there, and go from there, see if it does it. It's about the only thing it could be. Alright, I just threw a spare 009 I have in there with points. Got it static timed basically to top dead center, number 1. Just threw the wires over top for now because I had to take the little nipple things off the end of the spark plugs in order to put regular stuff on it. So, alright, well, let's give that a whirl and see if that works. Alright, well, she's probably flooded now, so cross your fingers. Just one of those days. Swapped it out, still didn't have spark, replaced the condenser. Now I think I have spark, so we hooked everything back up. Let's see if we get it right this time. Fire in the hole. I'd say we have spark. I went ahead and installed the spare coil. Questionable condenser. I don't know. That shows spark. She flooded. Sometimes you just gotta walk away, right? So, long story short, you guys may have seen it in the video, I don't know, but sometimes you gotta walk away, right, to kind of think. But I was in the mode of wanting to hurry up and figure out what was going on. So the camera shut off. I said several choice words. Nothing was thrown. Don't worry, I'm not that type anymore. But let's think about this for a second. The module burned up on his electronic distributor, right? So then I swapped in a 009, which then that condenser was either good or bad. I don't know. I was assuming it was bad, so we threw another condenser in it. No spark. I had to walk away because what would cause that? Hate to say it, but the start box. This is what powers everything. So if there's a short, it has to be from here back. So I walked away again. A few more choice words. Then I dug into this. What I found was the tack itself was shorted out. If you touch the positive and negative together with an ohm meter, I had a dead short inside the tack. So we gutted this. This no longer works. This switch now does nothing. So I had to suck it up myself. I went ahead and ordered a new module for Aaron's billet distributor. You know, it was my bad. It was my fault that took a crap. It's on me. So I ponied up. I bought a new module. We just shoved it in. I'm about ready to see if this thing will actually run now. Oh my gosh, please. That was 2.5 hours the other night. All in. Anyway, new day, new attitude. We're gonna get this thing running, so let's dive into this. All right, we verified oil, we're still good. We've got power, charged battery, fuel's on. Cross fingers, let's see what happens. good. We still got some dialing out on carbs to do. Again, this did not need a cam break-in because it's already been ran with this cam and lifters. So we're just trying to get her tuned in a little bit, make sure she runs good, and we'll go ahead and ship her out. But so far, so good. Well, there we go. She's good to go, and that's Aaron texting me. We are good. Oil pressure is fantastic, and that's one of the 10W30 oil in it. The only real issue I have is valve cover gaskets are leaking a tad, but other than that, she's good to go. So we'll let her cool off. We'll run the valves one more time, change the oil, put some new oil in her, fix the valve cover gaskets. Again, I'm not really a big fan of these, hold on, these aluminum aftermarket ones, but you know, they look nice. So that's it. Moral of the story. Check your stuff. Don't get mad. Walk away. All the stuff we already know. Appreciate you guys being here. Thanks so much for sticking around. Catch you on the next one, guys. Till then, be good.